Alright, what's up everybody? It's Joe from JLB Games coming at you with another cool video. Today we're doing another speed build. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I thought I'd put one together for you. And I actually have this plan of potentially doing like these blueprints and these speed builds for pretty much all of the coaster types, and I figured I'd start out with one of the most basic ones, and that's the B&M Floorless coaster. So we're gonna build a B&M Floorless coaster today. Very simple layout, nothing crazy, just a nice little blueprint that you guys can put into your parks. This will be on the workshop. Share code will be in the description, and also I'll put it over the video as well so you guys can see that as well. So basically we're just going to be building a B&M Floorless coaster today. Now, again, the layout is going to be very, very simple. The ride itself is barely over 100, just a little over 100 feet. We got a very standard floorless coaster drop and some inversions thrown in there. You know, an Emmelman. We're going to put in some zero-G rolls and a corkscrew roll as well. And then we're going to do some custom supporting as well. So we're going to be doing a few custom supporting, just some nice details here and there. Overall, make a nice little station and a queue area, and a nice little entrance area as well, like a little plaza with a entrance sign. The name of this ride is going to be called Firewind. I just thought it sounded cool, so no big reasoning behind that or anything. It's just I thought it sounded cool. But the layout itself is very, very simple. I wanted to keep it fairly compact as much as I can so you guys can fit it in a smaller footprint, and that way it doesn't take up too much space. So it's going to go in and over itself quite a few times throughout this layout. Now, in this, I actually did utilize the friction multiplier a little bit, and I did turn down the friction a little bit to raise the excitement just a little bit. It was dragging a little on 1.0 friction, it was dragging through the layout. Off-ride, it looked pretty good, but on-ride, it looked like it was dragging a little bit. You guys are more than welcome to mess with that setting as well. If you just go to the Operations tab and everything, you can actually change the friction multiplier now, which is very, very nice for us. That way, it is individual coasters now. It used to be global, and now you can change it with coasters. So this is my first kind of video doing ever since the new big February update, which added a lot of good features, including updates to the multi-select tool and also coaster synchronization and just a few other tweaks here and there that they didn't even honestly mention, which was kind of a nice little surprise. So they did fix quite a few things in this update, and I'm very excited to see what the future holds for the game, and hopefully slowly the player base will start to come back to this game now that they've really started to fix a lot of the issues from the launch of the game, since it had a lot of issues at launch. So I'm hoping that maybe that the game is in tip-top shape now. It is getting there. It's almost there, honestly. It just needs a few more things. It's not completely perfect yet. There's still a few features missing from Planet Coaster 1, but overall, they've gotten a lot back into the game, and I'm very excited to see these next few updates, because we're getting monthly updates now, major updates, and if any of the updates are as big as this one when it comes to like bug fixes and performance stuff, I'm very confident that the game will be in a very good state within just a few short months. Because again, we are getting a March update as well as April and May update, as far as I know. I think they announced 4 updates that will be coming. We know what's coming in the next one for the most part. They're going to be working a lot on the flume physics. The slide physics on the next update is going to be the big focus. I'm sure they'll still be fixing a lot of bugs from there as well. And then the other 2 updates, they were very secretive, and they didn't really give out what kind of features are coming to the game then. I'm kind of personally hoping for a scenario editor. That is something that's still missing in the game. And then I would love to see some more biomes as well. I know that they're bringing some biomes from the career mode into the game as well, which will be fantastic. But anyways, talking about what we're doing here in the video, I did try and do my best to utilize some of the in-game supports, but for the most part, I would say about 89-90% of the supports on this ride will be custom supported. The low points and a couple of other smaller spots, I did use the in-game supports, but for the most part, we did use some custom supporting, which did take a little bit of time, but it was worth it in the end because I think it looks a lot more realistic, and we can really figure out what we have a little bit more control of where our supports are, and honestly just having the thicker support structure just makes more sense. Now, I did try and focus on keeping everything on ground level, like our supports and everything, as best as I can. That way the layout or the blueprint itself, you don't have to worry about adjusting it too much, which in the end you do have to adjust it a little bit, which you'll see in the real-time section. We'll talk about that, what you can do to go along with that, or you can just snap it to an existing pathway and it will work just fine. So I wanted to make this blueprint as functional as possible and as easy to work as possible to make it very user-friendly, whether you're on console or you're on PC. So hopefully I made it pretty easy for you guys to plop this into your parks. I wanted to put in a nice perimeter fence as well. You'll see we'll get into that as well. We also put in a perimeter fence, and then of course we do the station, which turned out really good, and a transfer track for realism purposes as well. So we make it look like it has a maintenance transfer track, which turned out pretty nice. So I'm pretty excited and pretty happy with the results, honestly, overall, and the fact that I kept the blueprint piece very minimal, actually. We kept it to about 1,600 pieces, roughly, a little bit over 1,600. So it honestly didn't take that many pieces, as much as I was expecting, especially doing a lot of custom supporting. So it does have a 100% scenery rating, which of course when you do custom supporting, that helps a lot as well. I also decided to do a little bit, or did a chain return, or on the chain lift, you'll see a lot of B&M Floorless coasters have. So the purpose of this blueprint is to have a nice realistic blueprint. I know nothing against the Frontier developers. I think they have some decent blueprints in the game already built in, but honestly they're just not realistic that much, and they just look like they're kind of thrown together with not a ton of scenery going into it. So honestly, Frontier, if you ever want to hire me to create some blueprints for the main game, maybe for Planet Coaster 3, just hit me up, man. I will build some nice layouts for you, and more realistic layouts for the game. You know, just tell me what exactly what you're looking for, and everything. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm the perfect when I'm building realistic layouts. Obviously, I'm not a coaster engineer or anything like that, but I think this one turned out pretty realistic, and I was fairly happy with it. Now, this was kind of a spontaneous thing too. I wasn't actually planning on recording anything. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna make some blueprints, and then that's why it was a little late on the recording, where we already had the lift hill in. I was like, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and build this for a video. Because honestly, I kind of want to do this for, again, I think I mentioned a little while ago, I want to do this for all of the coaster types, if not all of them, or at least most of them, at least the most common ones. So I want to hear your guys' feedback. After this blueprint, I'd like to do another one. I want to hear what you guys want to see next. Which coaster blueprint should I do next? Should I do a hyper coaster, a giga coaster? Should I do an aero looper? You know, just like all those other things, and just really get a lot of those in there. And we do have interchangeable coaster cars now, so now we can really get a little bit more exciting with our combinations that we can do there. So that's pretty amazing. So I'd also wouldn't mind doing like old school Vekoma tilt coaster, or maybe even I've done a lot of multi-dimension coasters already, but I'd like to maybe make a proper blueprint for one potentially as well. But yeah, let me know in the comment section, guys, what your suggestion is for the next one that we should do. I may potentially already start on the next one before I get those results on your guys' feedback. If you guys even give me feedback, totally up to you. But yeah, I'm totally down to create whatever you guys want me to create when it comes to the blueprints, and to do like these little speed builds. So very, very exciting. But yeah, let me know in the comment section if you guys found a really good use for this coaster. I really like to see that. I think this video hasn't even gone out, and it already has almost 50 downloads already. So I'd imagine that this video will kind of boost those downloads a little bit. So Anyways, let's try and get a 1,000 plus downloads on these. I would like to see that. So if you guys like this creation, be sure to download it on the Frontier Workshop. I would very much appreciate it. I think you guys will like this one. I'm pretty excited to see your guys' reaction. I also want to hear your negative feedback too, what I could have done better, and maybe I can actually update these as well. If there's something you think I should change on it, or maybe, you know, add to it as well, because I can actually update these files as well. The only thing I wasn't 100% happy with is maybe the corkscrew model or the corkscrew element is kind of weirdly shaped a little bit. That's probably the only thing I would really change. Besides that, I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out on this build. It turned out really good. The coaster builder is just so much more improved, and it makes it a lot easier to build very smooth and really nice coasters. Also, stick around to the end as well. We are going to be doing a real-time section where I kind of go over everything in real time, so you guys can see that in real time. And then also we have a little bit of cinematic stuff also with the POV as well. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video and watch all of that stuff. So pretty fire and exciting stuff. You see what I did there? So it's called Firewind. Anyways, yeah, but I think the next one I want to do, I kind of want to stick with B&M. Maybe for the next one, maybe we can do a B&M invert potentially. Just kind of get the simple ones out of the way. Maybe we do RMC. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just want to mainly, I keep asking for your feedback a lot, but I want to hear your guys' feedback so much on what you guys want to see next. Your feedback is very important for me, positive and negative all alike. I do take all the negative feedback into account as well. And if you do constructive criticism, of course, just make sure it is, well, constructive and not just, you know, mean, you know, you know, because if it's just mean, I'll probably just delete your comment. So, but I actually love negative feedback, guys. Some people take it very harshly, and then some people you got to take it and you know, you got to listen to your audience, you know. So I really want to do that and make sure that I'm listening to your guys' feedback. For instance, when I had some people suggest that I should do more real-time sections on these time lapses, so I've started to do real-time sections to where I kind of go over everything in real time, and that completely makes sense to me. You know, so I'm really trying to listen to what you guys have to say on all of my videos, like editing styles and stuff like that. If you guys, if there's anything you guys want me to change the way I make my videos, please let me know in the comment section. I want to hear what you guys say. That's not to say that I will completely do everything. It mostly is more of a if more people are asking for the same thing, you know, like so yeah. I've learned in life that you learn more from your failures and negative feedback more than your successes. So just to become a better content creator in general, I also would like to try and start doing weekly streams as well. I know I've kind of, you know, been a little bit lazy with that, and I've kind of failed you guys a little bit with all that, because I do want to stream more often. And just honestly just connect with my audience a little bit more, because I know sometimes that I get on a hot streak and I will be uploading almost daily sometimes, and then I just kind of get burnt out and then kind of slow down with my content and everything like that, which is why I'm starting to have a little bit of schedule with these videos. So like, obviously the Windland Adventure Resort videos are coming out weekly every Thursday, and I've really committed to that, and tried to do my best to give myself a week on those episodes, and that way I at least have a video going up every single week. Even if it's not like much, you know, at least there's something going up on the channel and we're staying active overall. That is kind of like my big deal with that. So let me know in the comment section if you guys want me to, what would be the best day for a weekly live stream. I would definitely want to try and get some live streams going once a week at the very least. I could always do more, but like, I want to try and do more live streams overall. So I'm trying to think about what day of the week would be perfect for that, just overall, so you guys know when to expect these live streams in general. So trying to get scheduling. I've tried to do scheduling before with my videos, and I just never committed through it. So I think what I need to do is just kind of pace myself a little bit and just do like weekly stuff. So like a weekly video, a weekly stream, and then anything more is just extra based on if I have motivation to do it. So anyways, this station turned out really cool. I didn't do anything too fancy here. I replaced the floor and just to try and make it look a little bit different from, you know, your basic Planet Coaster stuff. And I also ended up adding numbers in the rows as well, which is something I always forget to do that I always feel like I should be doing. But and then of course we just do a lot of the aquatic walls and roofing on the station. And then I also decided to add a priority pass entrance as well, so we have both regular queue and then priority pass as well, so we do end up getting both of those. That way you can make a little extra money on your priority passes. Now I do have the mod where it removes the entrances, but for some reason, I think since this update, the priority pass is the only one is actually showing up, so that's kind of an interesting take. Maybe they changed the priority pass entrance a little bit, and now the mod doesn't affect it, is kind of my idea. But I do have the mod where it does make the entrances invisible, and that's because I don't like the entrances, and I think it should just connect flawlessly with the platform personally. And I wish Planet Coaster or Frontier would actually have an option for invisible entrances, or at least give us more options. Because I'm tired of just like the sci-fi Planet Coaster themed entrance. I'm surprised they don't have different themed entrances for those. So as for the queue line, I didn't do anything special here. I really just kind of threw a queue line together and very, very simplified fashion. Let me know in the comment section, should I update this and make it a little bit more customized, or do you guys think it's fine just being simple the way it is? Because I would definitely be down to maybe doing a little bit more, because again, I can update these blueprints as well. So if you guys give me that feedback, we can potentially go back into this file and actually update it to have, you know, better pieces overall. But I decided to just keep pathing a little bit simple here, nothing too fancy. I just wanted to go and do something very, very easy, you know, that you can just plop into your parks and it's not going to overdo it. We did do a little bit of a cover on those paths as well, but that's about all we do, and then just a little bit of lighting, and then like a tiny bit of foliage, and then of course we have the fencing that is the perimeter fencing that goes around the ride as well. But mostly this ride is not really a themed ride, it's more of an amusement park ride, so it'll fit into a lot of amusement parks, and if you guys want to theme it up yourself and theme it up more, you're more than welcome to also. So this is a nice, I always like doing like, say if I'm doing like career modes and stuff like that, and like doing the, doing those scenarios and such like that, sometimes I do like to just plop down a coaster that's already built and just open it right up, you know. And that's kind of the idea with this, is like I do have some career modes I want to do, and then like anytime I need to build a coaster that has inversions or something like that, I can plop down something like this, which makes it super easy, and I can kind of move on. You know, I don't have to spend hours upon hours trying to get my objectives down. I can just plop down these rides, and that's why I kind of want to do very detailed blueprints like this pretty much for all the coaster types, and this is just kind of where we're starting, you know. That way we can get into it. I'm kind of thinking about maybe doing a mock extreme spinning coaster next. Let me know what you guys think. That one just kind of popped into mind just now, saying since that's one of my favorite coaster types in the game. It is my favorite coaster. Well, one of them, it is my favorite coaster type in the game. I think we could do something like that. I think it'd be nice to do, and then we can have, I might even do more than one on that one, honestly. Let me know also if you guys would like to see a lot of these have unload stations as well. I thought about putting an unload station on this one, but I kind of just kept it the way it is. I think most B&M Floorlesses do not have unload stations, so I decided to keep it blank for now. But I would definitely like to do unload stations, maybe for like the Extreme Spinning Coaster. I know rides like Time Traveler have them, so it is very plausible for obviously a blueprint of that magnitude to have them, which would be very, very nice. But I love the addition of the unload stations, and I haven't utilized them as much as I would want to. But anyways, like I said, I wanted to do like a chain lift return where we have like this little piece here. It's probably not the most best in the world, but this piece right here that we actually have works very well for this, honestly. And then I had to figure out what I wanted to do with the bottom, so I made this little lift house, which is a little building that, you know, has all the mechanisms for the lift hill and everything, which makes it a little bit more realistic. Most coasters have, not all of them, most of them have a little lift house like this that house all the mechanical aspects for the lift itself, and I thought it would be a good idea to kind of place one in here, put a little, door on there so it has access for our maintenance crew, and it turned out really good. So pretty simple on that, and nothing too crazy going on there, but I think it makes sense, that way I can have this chain lift return actually connect back with the bottom in some way, shape, or form. But now comes the fun part where we actually start working a lot on like the perimeter fencing and everything like that, and get a nice little perimeter fence around the ride. Obviously, if I wanted to be fairly realistic, we need to have some fencing around so people cannot access the restricted area, and they keep out of this area, because obviously it would be dangerous if they were in that area. So we needed to do this, and I have a lot of the pathing that goes underneath the ride itself, so I had to put some fencing around those as well. But I still wanted to keep this fairly compact, so I tried to keep it as close to the ride as possible, and try and just make it like, it's hard to make these like fences look quite nice, especially if you're using like these tall chain link fences, but overall it's fine. I think it turned out just fine. And then of course just adding some foliage around at the end, I think actually made a big difference as well for all of this. So it turned out fine, for the most part. I like doing perimeter fences. I know some people probably don't, but when it comes to realism-wise, it makes sense that the rides have fencing around them. That way, obviously, your people are protected and it's nice and safe. But again, for the queue line, we don't do too much here. I just make like a simple cover for the queue and just these canopies that go across and go around. Basically, I would typically do my own custom fencing for, like, on the railings for the queue line, but for this point, I decided not to, and just kind of keep it simple, and again, just leaving the queue. But let me know, again, I'd love to hear your feedback if I should update that later on. So I also want to add a little bit of foliage, which makes the ride look a little bit better, and just overall adds a little bit of atmosphere, and so it's not just completely blank. And of course, I couldn't forget about the lighting in the park as well, or in the blueprint as well. So we need to make sure this ride is pretty well lit at night. That way, if you do have it at night, it is going to be lit up. The queue line, the station, and then obviously I did give this ride a tiny bit of a light package, nothing too crazy, but we did add some spotlights around the ride as well. Give it a nice little entrance sign, also, the little Firewind entrance sign, and also pointing out the different entrances. So obviously we have two entrances, the Priority Pass and the regular entrance, which we will put a little, like a little archway over the entrance that kind of allows us to put that signage there as well. But yeah, just wanted to do like a nice little entrance area. And then of course we're going to have a nice rounded little path for a little plaza that you can connect with it as well. So now we have to take the lights out and get all these spotlights kind of in. And I wanted to do a lot of red lighting, of course, just to try and light up the track just a little bit, give it a nice little light package for nighttime. And then, of course, we also do a little bit of lighting on the lift hill as well, so that way if they have to do an evacuation, everyone can see. And it also does add a nice little lighting for the lift hill as well. I do like these lights quite a bit, and I think they work well for like lift hills, if you want to do it that way. And then light up our little entrance sign a bit, and voila, we have a nice little lighting package for our coaster. So that is pretty much it after we get this pathway in. That's gonna about do it for this time lapse. So stick around, guys. We do have a real-time section where I'm gonna go over a little bit of stuff in real time, and then obviously you'll want to stick around for like the POV and cinematics at the end. So anyways, make sure you guys download this on the Steam Workshop, Frontier Workshop. I keep wanting to say Steam Workshop. And let's try and get this to 1,000 downloads. I'd love to see you guys really be active and try and I really want to make sure that these blueprints are high quality so you guys can continue to download them. Love to hear you guys' feedback on what I should do next. I'll probably do a mock extreme spinning coaster next, but let me know what I do after that for these blueprints. So I just want to hear you guys' feedback on what kind of speed builds you want me to do next. I could do more than just coasters too. I'd like to do maybe some flat rides even as well. So if that interests you, please let me know in the comments section. And yeah, without further ado, let's head into the real-time section of the video. Alright guys, let's go ahead and go over what we did here for this blueprint project, and this took me a good few hours to build. I'd say probably around 2 hours, maybe 3 hours at most. I didn't really keep track, but I think I recorded for almost 3 hours, so I'd say about the 3-hour mark, and for what we did in 3 hours, I'm actually pretty impressed. So you can go ahead and install or download this in the Frontier Workshop if you guys want to plop it down in your parks. I tried to make it pretty compact and also just very simple as well. It's under 2,000 pieces if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's only 1,665 pieces. I also put a little pathway right here at the front. That way you guys can connect with your parks however you choose. And then we also put a little perimeter fence around there with a little minimum foliage in there. Foliage in there, but it turned out really good. It even has a little transfer track. That way, if you want to just have a nice little realism added into there. And then the station is very simple. I didn't really go all out on it, but it's very simple. And we have some numbers for the rows, which is a nice touch. I always forget to do those, and I always need to do those. So we also have a priority pass entrance along with a normal entrance. Which also works really cool and really well. So we'll have that. We have some lighting effects at night. So if we go to nighttime, you can see that it does have a little bit of a lighting package. We have lights on the lift hill and just some red lights, spotlights throughout the ride. And then you can see we do have the station nice and lit as well. Looks really cool in here, which is really cool. So yeah, so I think it turned out pretty good. The queue is the only thing I didn't put a ton of effort into. I just kind of put some of these canopy covers on the top, and that's about it. I tried to make it to where when you place it down, it doesn't have to, it's not going to be lifted off the ground. It does lift it a tiny bit. I did my best to try and make it not lift off the ground at all. As you can see, it is pretty flat. The only thing I would say is like either attach it to some pathways, or if you just get or go off of these like footers here, just make it to where those footers are touching the ground, and then you're good like that, and it's beautiful. So very nice little blueprint. You could also make it to where it probably snaps to a pathway as well. We'll see if this works. We're just doing all the testing here. So we'll go ahead and if you snap it to a path, sometimes it'll snap onto the ground like that. There you go. You see how it snapped to the ground? So I recommend snapping it to a pathway, or if you're not, just lower it down just a tad. So yeah, anyways, this is available for download in the Frontier Workshop. I'll put the share code in the description and also on screen so you guys can check it out for yourselves. So I think this project turned out really good, and more to come on the way. I'd like to do some more different coaster types. I wanted to start with a simple one, that being the B&M Floorless coaster, and let me know what coaster type you'd like me to do next on a project like this. So for the next blueprint, I want to do some nice little blueprints like this. So let me know in the comments section what you guys would like me to do next, so I can get that on the workshop as well. And we'll do whatever is next. So we got the B&M Floorless coaster. I'd like to do it for pretty much all of them. Would be really awesome. I'd love to do that. But yeah, I just need to know which ones you would like me to do next. and then we'll get to work on that, and maybe we'll put together another quick build, a speed build for that as well. So anyways, that's going to do it here for Firewind, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this blueprint and download it, and hopefully it helps you out with your parks. So thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you have a great day, new cooler tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time, guys. Thanks, and goodbye.